Yeah,
mid.
support Janna.
Okay. Well, I mean, everyone loves support Janna, so I mean that's not surprising there. But they have some kind of weird Janna fetish, is what you're saying?
I could be hinting at that, yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I guess that is something to take note. We'll see how the picks and bans come out for this game. Lzuruha versus Dignitas. Corky quick ban coming out from Lzuruha. Uh, Cutie Pie is a great AD carry. I mean, that's something that people just know. And Corky is a strong AD, so banning him is always the way to go if you ask me. How do you feel about Corky overall in the kind of tier list of AD carries?
Right now there's three ADs, and those three are the best ones that you must have in any team right now, and those are Corki, Kog'Maw, Vayne. Those are the three highest damage AD carries in the game right now. Every other one's picked for utility.
Okay. Now I thought Graves would potentially be in there.
See, the thing about Graves is his damage is not that high. He's more of a bursty kind of hero, but if you look at Kog'Maw, Corki, and Vayne, all three of those deal true damage.
Gotcha.
And Vayne, although Vayne doesn't deal magic damage, her true damage is higher than all of those, and it just melts everybody.
Wait, did you say Kog'Maw deals true damage?
Yeah, his passive,
Oh, the Acathian Sprite. So after
as
he's
well as
dead,
dealing
he
high
deals true
amounts
damage.
of magic damage himself.
I gotcha, I gotcha. So Dr. Mundo, another quick ban from Lzuruha, along with Udyr and Lulu. Is Lulu, do you think, perhaps some kind of a targeted ban for this AP carry for Lzuruha, or do you just think she's a strong enough AP mid to warrant a ban?
She is a strong enough everything, actually. The only role I have not seen her being played as is bottom as AD. She can jungle,
She can
top
top.
lane,
Yeah.
mid, do everything. She's a very strong hero, and for some reason she's fallen out of the American meta, but she's still very popular in Korea.
Okay, so in Korea, so for the OGN tournament, I'm sure they saw many, many Lulu
Mhm.
picks and bans. Over here, I don't think I've seen one yet this tournament. I could be mistaken. I've only cast a handful of games myself, but uh, just coming from you, I'm sure it's probably a very smart pick and ban for Dignitas right there. Janna being the third ban, so there you go. Perhaps a targeted, as you said, since Lazura apparently has some kind of a fetish for Janna, but also perhaps because that Janna is just a very, very strong support. We talked about the Corky being the tier list of AD carries being up there. Janna also one of the top supports. It's probably Janna, Soraka, and Tarek being the top three supports. Would you say?
Mm, Actually, I would say that Alistar. I prefer having Alistar and Nunu
Okay.
and Soraka.
Okay.
Soraka definitely very overpowered in my opinion because of her ability to just disengage fights and simply continue to stay outside without going back. She basically gives your team she just prevents your team from going to base while you sort of engage and then the other team has to back. And of course, Dignitas knows that Soraka is one of the most overpowered heroes right now and
Yes.
picks it right up.
Picks it right out along with a Varus pick. So Varus coming out
That's
today.
I'm
So
guessing that's a troll.
is it a
It's
troll, or do
Cutie
you
Pie.
think
It
Cutie
is
Pie
Cutie
has
Pie.
mastered him already?
No, wait. He barely plays League of Legends. I'm guessing a Kog'Maw pick or a jungler.
You think he's going to change here?
Yes,
What
I'm
would
pretty
happen if he
sure.
locked in Varus? Just what would you
If he
do?
locked in Varus, I would get on and message him and
Call him
make
retarded?
fun of him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. He's got 5 seconds left to change, and there's Nautilus. So it was a slight troll right there. Varus, I guess not quite. I haven't played as him today, or I haven't played at all today because I had work. So I have no idea how he is. He looks interesting as champion spotlight, but this is a tournament with $20,000 in the line, so I don't think they're going to troll that hard. This
Yes.
isn't just some $100 tournament or anything like that. This is a big deal. Now, Shin being the first pickup from Lazura, gonna be either top lane or jungle, I would assume. Where do you like to see Shin better in these kind of big matchups?
I am guessing that I prefer having Shen as a top laner opposed to a jungler because usually junglers right now tend to be AoE clears,
Yeah,
junglers
quick
that can
farmers.
clear everything very quickly. And Shen just doesn't have that. Instead, in top lane, he offers endless sustain, endless harass, quick escapes, and a dash for a CC, and that doubles as damage as well. So I feel he's much better suited as a top laner since he also gets much more farm that way.
Okay. Well, we'll see where he ends up going. The second two pickups from Lzuruha are going to be Nunu and Kog'Maw, a very, 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 very strong bot lane. You've got the super slow from the Snowball, you've got the slow from the Void Ooze, and then Biohurricane Barrage is just hitting you with a percentage base of your max health as magic damage. That does not tickle, I'll tell you that much. And an exhaust flash coming onto Kog'Maw, so he's just going to be locking people down, raining down damage. His lane partner, he will be against Urgot, it looks like. So who do you think wins the Taric Urgot Nunu Kog'Maw lane?
The Taric Urgot lane will beat Nunu-Cog, especially early in the game.
Oh yeah, Acid Hunter just does so much damage. It's
But
scary.
as the game progresses, you have to take into account you can't just look at a lane between 2-on-2. You have to look at the jungler and the global presence that they have. So right now, it looks like the bot lane for Lzuruha is not only Nunu-Cog, but they also have to take into consideration that they have a Shen to teleport in, help them out. And then Dignitas also has Soraka Ultimate, which I'm guessing is AP
This
Soraka
is
in
going to
middle
be
lane.
AP mid Soraka, yeah.
So she's going to be healing for a lot. So that is technically sort of a 3-on-3 in bottom lane. And then you have to look at the counter gank, the ganks from the junglers. And the ganks that Nautilus with Taric Urgot is going to put in bottom lane is going to be just detrimental. If any gank that they can pull off is going to be a sure kill, guaranteed, unless Shen can do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean between the Urgot hyperkinetic position reverser, as soon as that happens, the person's gonna get shattered. They're gonna get dazzled. Nautilus is gonna be there to dredge line and knock him up with his depth charge, then slow him with his Riptide. It's not gonna be good. I'm assuming that we're probably gonna see every time Urgot's ultimate is up, we're gonna see a sweet gank from Nautilus, and more than likely a kill, unless there's something that Kog'Maw can do about it. Now it looks like Cog did trade the exhaust for an ignite. I wonder if he's going to go ahead and keep that. And then Fiddlesticks picked up. So
No.
maybe? I mean, Scar didn't say anything to me.
What? Fiddlesticks pick. That is awfully weird.
Isn't it though? That is one of the weirdest picks I've ever seen. So Fiddle gonna be top lane.
Top lane Fiddles against Shen. I'd never seen this before.
I mean, Fiddle's got ultra sustain with his life drain, and he can CC effectively with his fear and his silence. I mean, I don't know. This is going to be really so. Dignitas right now is going to be running AP mid Soraka, Jungle Nautilus, Taric Urgot bot lane, and Fiddle up top just for good measure. So this is an odd. I mean, needless to say, this looks like an odd team comp right here. But I mean, I'm not going to knock them at all. They probably know what they're doing. I would assume. I would give Dignitas the benefit of the doubt.
It may be an odd team comp, but the amount of crowd control effects
Oh,
that Dignitas
it's
has
huge.
on their team is absolutely massive. Each one of those has at least, well, not at least two, like Tag only has one, but everybody else has at least two forms. Oh, and Soraka as well, but they just have a lot of CC. That's
Yeah, yeah.
basically what it is. And I'm just worried for top lane in the pick of Voivoy playing top against Shen Jax. Both of those offer a stun and a taunt, which basically counts as a stun. So they could basically burst Fiddlesticks from 100 to 0 in any time they wanted, as long as Shen's ignite is up. So I'm kind of worried about how that's gonna pan out in top lane for Fiddlesticks.
Now the perfect team fight if you're Dignitas right here is to switch someone with Urgot while Fiddle is channeling onto that person, or Fiddle maybe backdooring, going around them to channel into the brunt of their team, and they're going to switch out their high damage AP or maybe AD carry or something, and let Fiddle rain hell on the back line while that person is out of position from the Urgot swap and getting dazzled and getting shattered to reduce the armor. It's going to be disgusting. I'm actually really excited to see this team comp here. Well, but if you're just tuning in, this is game one of Lzuruha versus Dignitas. The teams here are going to be Lzuruha's rocking Kog'Maw, Nunu bot, Cassiopeia in the mid, Shen up top, Jax in the jungle, while Dignitas is going to be handling an Urgot, Taric bot lane, Fiddlesticks up top, Nautilus in the jungle, and Skara in the mid. I'm your caster, Pluto's Not a Planet, joined by the fantastic Curse Crumbs, the first and fourth highest elo player
Ooh,
on an A?
I don't know. It was like rank 3 a couple of days ago. Let's just Say rank 5 right now.
Okay.
Give it the benefit of the
But you're
doubt.
both of those players, which is absolutely ridiculous. So thank you for joining us, Crumbs. I'm going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back into this game one of Lzuruha vs Dignitas. Commercial.
I think Dignitas is gonna take it.
You think so?
The CC that they have is so
It's so
disgusting.
crazy. I know,
If
right?
one Fiddlestick silence just hits everybody, they basically win.
Oh God, I'm excited. Fiddlesticks up top, gonna be so good. Now I'm sure there are plenty of people with ad blocker who are not allowing us to generate any revenue at this current point in time, so they're still listening to us.
Yes, of
But that's
course.
that's their prerogative. If they don't want to see a quick 60-second commercial just to give us some money, then whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes run ad block too, but when it comes to a tournament, I'll usually turn it off while I watch. You got to help them out. You gotta make it so that Curse can put on more of these big tournaments and stuff like that.
Of course. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come in the future as well.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about casting them. I was able to pretty much land a nice shoutcasting gig at Curse, so you'll probably see much more of me, which I don't know, maybe apologize for, but I think we'll have fun. Trust me. I guilted that guy to turn it off. Fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you for
That's
turning
pretty
it on.
impressive.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I do. Thank you. Curse is loaded, but we're about to give away potentially like $20,000, and we ended up giving away $20,000 at the last invitational because good old Curse
Dignitas
couldn't
won
hold on
again.
to it. Yeah, Curse could not hold on to it, but that's okay. We're loading into this game now. Everyone is summoning. Oh, it looks like Ted Stickles is at 94%. Will he be able to load? Is he playing on a toaster?
Microwave it.
He's microwaving it. Turn up that wattage, dude. It's bad timing with TSM versus EG, and we apologize, but this match was supposed to start like an hour and a half ago. Um, you know, in our favor, but that's okay. It was delayed just a little bit. Scumbag Scar not telling us. Still love the guy though. He does owe me $15, but that's a whole nother story. So the starting builds here, Shin picking up a Doran Shield, which is an interesting start. Boots, 3 pots coming from everyone else. The jungle, normal Fairy Charm, 4 wards, and a health potion. Urgot decides to start that Doran's Blade. He's got a decently sustainable Blade. I wouldn't call Tarek the most sustained of supports. That Imbue doesn't heal for that much. But it looks like he's going to try to get as much damage out with the Acid Hunter and the E combo, the poison combo, onto this Cogmaw. Cogmaw fairly squishy early game. Looks like he is going to have only 560 health. The Acid Hunter is going to deal like 65 damage per Acid Hunter. So just 10 of those, and that Cogmaw is toast. And they're going to be locked on once he hits level 2 and he gets that Acid charge. So very, very scary right now to be the Cogmaw. We'll see how the early game goes here. I'm going to give it to Urgot Tarek, though. I think they're going to be good, as you said it earlier.
I'd like to point out the wards that have been placed right now in the beginning of the game. Lzuruha with a defensive ward at race, trying to predict an invasion from Team Dignitas, which I feel like was a mistake because with the team that they have, I don't see an invasion ever occurring because Shen has an AoE dash as well as Jax starting with an AoE stun. Couple that with Cassiopeia's AoE damage from her Q, it's going to be very detrimental for Team Dignitas if they start invading. And I feel like Dignitas also predicted that with the strength that Lzuruha has early on, they would invade, so they warded the red buff, trying to see if they were trying to make some aggression or a play happen at level 1.
So it looks like both junglers just kind of starting at wolves and then transitioning to the blue. You see that often. Shin actually took one of the wolves straight from Jax, but I don't think that XP and gold is too detrimental of a loss. Well, he still got the XP, of course, but the gold. Oh no, what is it? 5 gold, I think, for a small wolf or something.
No idea.
No idea. You're supposed to be the super jungler. You're supposed to know these things.
Some things just get by you.
Exactly. You don't care. You just farm. That's all you do.
Yeah.
So up top lane, Fiddlesticks versus Shin. They are both. That's Doran's Shield start for Shin. How do you feel about that? I don't see Doran's Shield a whole lot on top lanes, but on Shin, I'm sure it's an excellent pickup.
See, what I think was going to happen here, Doran's Shield was a pick to try to sustain himself equally with Fiddlesticks. As Fiddlesticks does have more sustain with his Q, with his drain, but I mean, Doran's shield is not going to help him against Nautilus ganks because when Nautilus ganks, he's going to be dealing magic damage and true damage, not nearly as much physical. So he's going to be having his magic resist lowered not only by Fiddlestick's passive and by the damage that Nautilus is going to be dealing out with red buff and his entire kit. So he's going to be suffering a lot of magical damage, death to magic damage basically, and Doran's shield of course gives you armor, and that may not be the best choice, especially because of the CC that Fiddlesticks and Nautilus can put out. He could go down very quickly, but also Fiddlesticks had waited at base for minions to spawn so he could buy a ward, so he's also scared of the Jax jungle gank, so buying a ward early will prevent him from dying basically to any gank that he can't see coming.
Yeah, and that corrosive charge hitting that Kog'Maw and the Acid Hunters chunking his health respectively. So Kog'Maw already at about half health, not very fun for him. Scar showing the Soraka skills in mid lane. Up top, looks like Nautilus may be posturing up for a gank. He's coming into that brush up there, and Shen has no idea. He's a little bit overextended. There's the fear, and the health drain does come out. The Shadow Dash through the Nautilus passive, allowing him to miss that Riptide, and he dodges the Dredge line as well. So a nice escape there from Shen, but it is going to put him at half health with not the most sustain in the world. Like you said, the Doran shield is going to allow him to regenerate some health, but that Fiddlesticks is going to have a pretty absolute advantage.
I agree. And down bottom, Kog'Maw Nunu actually beating out.
Actually, there's a Shadow Dash up top. This is going to be a dead Fiddle, and that is exactly what you were talking about. As soon as a Shadow Dash comes out, Fiddle was going to be locked down long enough for the Counter-Strike proc and the Ignite. Wow, that Fiddle died so quickly up top.
That is the entire reason, the whole reason why I did not approve of the Fiddlesticks pick against the Shen. Because with a strong ganker like Jax, he offers a lot of damage as well as a very good CC and a gap closer. Shen combined with that is going to be, there's very little heroes that can survive that, and Fiddlesticks is definitely one of the worst against that.
It was kind of a shame there that Fiddle never placed his ward. I think had he placed it a little bit earlier, he would have been able to escape from that gank. He overstayed his welcome just a tiny bit, but he's working his way back into lane. He picked up a Doran's ring, so we'll see if that's able to help him a little bit, along with his 2 mana potions down bot. Cutie Pie farming effectively, 22 CS to Kog'Maw's 27, so Kog'Maw able to do something there. Nautilus coming up top for this gank, and Shen walking into that brush, getting the Dredge line. The Shadow Dash will taunt him, and that may be a dead Shen. It will be. The Ignite does come off from Fiddlesticks, and the last hit actually being Fiddle's Ignite, but Nautilus flashing just to secure the kill down bot. Jax coming out for a gank, jumping on a Taric, missing the Counter-Strike stun actually. Urgot turns around and lands a nice corrosive charge on a Kog'Maw, trying to chunk him with Acid Hunter, but Kog'Maw will be okay. Looks like everyone's going to walk away from that little party alive.
Soraka just saved the life of Urgot right there with her ultimate.
Yeah, and Soraka I think just recently hit 6. Yeah, she barely hit 6 before she went back, so that's definitely perfect timing for that to happen.
Actually, in that fight, I like the coordination that Dignitas had because Taric still had a heal, which means that even if Soraka did not use ultimate, Taric would have saved Urgot with heal, so then they prefer to blow Soraka ultimate over a summoner spell because Soraka's ultimate has a lower cooldown than a summoner spell, and I feel like it's more detrimental to Dignitas if they have to lose a summoner. But I also
Urgot burned his heal as well. Because
yes,
Urgot and Taric both have heal, yeah.
But I also dislike how they were focusing Urgot instead of Taric, since Taric actually has no flash, so that may have been a much easier kill.
That is very true. They force the flash from Urgot, so Urgot is going to be without any summoner spells right now. Tarek still holding on to the Ignite and heal. In mid lane, it looks like Cassiopeia with 42 CS to Soraka's 54, so showing the strength of that star call. There's the ultimate, and the flash from Jax will get him in range of the Soraka. They know she doesn't have her ultimate here. The Ignite and Poison is going to tick very, very well on her, but she's going to be okay. So a summoner burned from Jax there to try to get a failed gank. That's not very good. The Crowstorm up top, wow.
Ooh.
So Shin just able to Shadow Dash out of the range of Crowstorm. That's very, very unfortunate for Voyboy up there. That just doesn't seem like a great matchup for Fiddlesticks.
It really is not.
And Shin was the first pick, so like he picked into Shin. So I don't quite know why he did that. Maybe there's something late game to it. I don't know, but it's not looking good right now for Fiddlesticks.
But actually, Fiddlesticks is managing to pull a lead of 16 CS over Shen. I'm not sure how that's happening, but he's
Nawless'
winning
depth
in
charge will knock up this
Superstar.
Kog'Maw, and then he will land his passive. A kind of fail flash from Kog'Maw doesn't allow him to escape as much damage as he wanted. Meanwhile, up top, Shin and Jax, another gank, will take down Fiddlesticks. I apologize. Two fights happening simultaneously. I had to watch one or the other.
I actually saw the one up top and not the bottom fight. So up top, what happened was Jax actually snuck in through the lane, snuck in as soon as out of vision range from Fiddlesticks' creeps, and then of course Shadow Dash. Shen, all he has to do is dash him, and Jackson leap strike and use his counter strike in time, since Shadow Dash does last 1.5 seconds.
At all
and
levels.
At all levels. As soon as Fiddlesticks gets stunned, he's running no armor or magic resistance runes. He's going to die immediately.
As another sad, sad day for Fiddlesticks up there. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Nautilus taking his own red buff. Maybe coming up top for a lane gank, which is going to stop at his double golems for a nice rest stop. Down bot, Urgot and Taric sieging this tower as effectively as possible. Urgot is now 6, so expect to see maybe a swap here and there, using his Acid Hunters to get Kog'Maw as low as possible before they decide to do the all-in play. Jax is down bot too, and they are, and Dignitas is unaware of it. So if they go for a hyper-aggressive switch right here, they could pay the ultimate price for it.
This is going to be a risky engage for Lzuruha, since when they go engage on as Nunu Kog'Maw, it's very obvious to Team Dignitas that they're going to keep fighting, since that's just the mechanic of a Nunu lane. They just go all out on a full engage, and that's going to let them know that they basically want to fight. Then again, they do have Shen, so right now Nautilus coming down bot. He wants to make a counter gank happen, and we'll see if it does work, since Jackson's coming around unnoticed.
There's a swap onto Kog'Maw. We'll put him out of position. The depth charge comes right behind it. Kog'Maw melts. The absolute zero is ticking, doing about half damage. The Cathian Surprise will rain down some damage onto QT Pie, but he will be okay. Here comes the Shen ultimate. QT Pie being exhausted, making him very, very slow. There's the Shadow Dash, taunting 2 of the 3 Dignitas players down here. Urgot will fall here as well, and I think Taric and Nautilus will be able to get out of here, unless Jack's going for a real deep dive right there and paying for his transgressions. The Dredge line will land on to Nunu, able to get Nautilus in range of him. The Dazzle comes out, stunning, and just after the flash, there's the Ignite, and Nunu will fall as well. Can he make it 3? I don't quite think so, unless he wants this dive right here. Does he? Activates his shield, but he decides to pull back at the last moment. So that is going to be a 2-for-1 exchange here in the favor of Dignitas. They really turned that one around.
I thought that was very, very greedy from Team Lzuruha, and quite a grave mistake of them to do such a thing.
The Nautilus flash onto Cassiopeia. Fiddle is here as well for his surprise party, and they're going to take down Cassiopeia, but not if she has anything to say about it, sending out a posthumous ultimate, really.
That's going to possibly lead away for a free dragon from Dignitas, and they are spotted by the ward, but Fiddlesticks does have the ability to tank it endlessly, but for some reason Nautilus is the one taking the damage, and now they swapped out of it.
Yeah, they're going to turn this tank and spank right over to Fiddlesticks for his life train. That's going to be a easy free dragon for Dignitas right there. Hardly any response from Lzuruha. They do have the back pit of the dragon warded, so they were aware of it, but just not able to follow up on it at all.
And if you look at terms of CS right now, Dignitas is doing extremely well from themselves. In mid lane, Soraka sitting at 121, the highest of the game. That's a very, very good amount of CS, or 12 minutes in. Meanwhile, Cassio only 80, so she's 40 creeps behind, and a CS deficit of around 16 to 17 creeps actually is the same amount of gold as a kill.
Wow, so the Shadow Dash again coming onto Void Boy up top, followed closely by the Counter-Strike and the Ignite. Fiddle will fall here. It looks like the Soraka heal almost saving him. Meanwhile, down bot, Kog'Maw getting switched back into the Nautilus. Urgot and Taric making quick work of him. So again, they just like to have counter ganks going in different lanes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and up top, the Fiddlesticks keeps getting pummeled from the 2 CCs that Jax can offer. But I think that Fiddlesticks is the type of hero that, even after falling behind so large, he did get a solo lane, and just because of the way the hero works and how he's played, having died so many times is still not going to make him nearly as useless as a Kog'Maw that has been killed multiple times in lane through jungle ganks. So this is definitely going in Dignitas' favor.
Yeah, most definitely. Fiddle used a lot for his CC. I mean, the silence that bounces around, the terrify, it just does so much work. You know, regardless of your score, you're still helping out your team immensely. Kog'Maw with no damage and no items, he's not going to be helping out just as much.
Exactly.
So the top tower has been destroyed by Lzuruha, but at the same time, the bottom tower has been destroyed by Dignitas. So as I said, both teams, they're just like, they're ganking each other's lanes at the same time. Every time Fiddlesticks dies up top, Kog'Maw dies down bot. And it's kind of interesting to see that. But ward coverage wise, it looks like both teams warding up decently well. Dignitas does have a ward here on this dragon and a ward in that bot Tribrush. It's a pink ward, so they see the enemy Lzuruha ward, but they haven't decided to take it down just yet. It looks like maybe they're just keeping up there for fun, showing Lzuruha that they can do just about anything they want at this point in time on the map.
What I want to see at this game is we're 14 minutes in, Baron spawning in 1 minute. So I want to see a 15-minute Baron from Team Lzuruha.
We'll see, this fight may prove to be just that. The Absolute Zero will hit onto Soraka and Urgot, but not doing quite enough damage to take either of them down. The Shin ultimate will come onto the Cassiopeia. The Shadow Dash landing onto Urgot, but the shield is just mitigating so much damage. The surprise party Fiddle over the wall will possibly lock down the Jax. Yes, Jax does go down here, and Lzuruha is going to walk away with the tail between their legs. The Dredge Line and the passive will hit the Cassiopeia, locking her down under her tower. Skara falling up with a nice star call there as well. So as you said, I mean, Baron is in 15 seconds. Do you think they might take this mid tower and then go tank it?
Not, I don't think, Dignitas can definitely has a team comp to do it very quickly with Soraka and Fiddlesticks, but I don't think that's a very good idea because of the spawn timers at this point are quite low. But I do want to see a counter Baron from Team Lzuruha if they can afford a pink ward and just pink Baron area. Shen and Jax definitely solo a duo Baron at this point, even more so with the help of Nunu's Blood Boil, so they could definitely keep Kog'Maw down in bottom lane, try to bait the entire team of Dignitas to go down there and do it, but I don't think that's what they're going to do since it's an awfully risky move and often considered a Hail Mary type of move.
Yeah. I mean, that may just be what they need right now. They're 5 kills behind. They're about 5k gold behind. Towers are even right now, which is always a good thing to see. Voyboy caught a little bit out of position here up top. He doesn't have a tower to fall back to, and that Shadow Dash will end his life drain. He could be in trouble, but here comes his buddy Nautilus to send a depth charge onto the Shin. The life drain will continue. The Ignite does go on to Voyboy. He may fall here. No, he's going to be okay. That life drain doing so much work even through the Ignite. Shin kind of overstayed his welcome up there. Jax will come in with the Counter-Strike active. He doesn't quite make it all the way to Voyboy. There's the Terrify. Going to CC that Jax a little bit longer, and he's going to sit in there and drain tank this Jax and be just about fine. The Scar ultimate coming in to heal his buddy just for good measure.
I thought that was very foolish of Jax to try to fight a 2v1 situation considering that there's a Soraka on the enemy team.
Yeah, that's something you normally don't want to do. I mean, now at this point in time, they know that the Soraka ultimate will be on cooldown for a little while, but I don't think they're going to be able to really capitalize on it in the near future.
When playing against Soraka in globals in that manner, you always have to assume the worst, that the enemy's ultimates and important ultimate global spells are always up. And that's how you avoid mistakes like the one that Jax has just made. And I think he may have assumed that Soraka's ultimate was down from last fight, but I don't think he took into consideration the fact that...
This could be bad news for Locust and Scar right here. Getting caught out of position at the Wolf Camp. The Counter-Strike by Jax will keep them locked down. Taking down Tarek very, very quickly. Soraka able to sustain a lot. The Crow Storm coming out from Fiddle, putting a lot of damage on the back end of the team, but no one quite falling there. Scar just sustaining himself so much. Fiddlesticks right now being chased down by Jax and Kog'Maw, but Drain taking both of them, but the Counter-Strike will disable that, and they'll be able to take him down. The swap finally comes off. Cassiopeia will get caught by it. Shin will go down as well. He's forced to burn a flash. Maybe he will live. The Dredge Line going to pick up the last hit onto Kog'Maw, and Shin and Nunu are going to be the only 2 people alive for Lzuruha. This is going to be an easy tower kill from Dignitas, and perhaps a second tower as well.
The MVP of Team Dignitas at this point has definitely been Scar with his AP Soraka. absolutely healing everybody by massive amounts of massive numbers and just keeping everybody alive and baiting Lzuruha into fighting fights that are never favorable. And that's basically how they've been getting ahead.
Yeah, and Skara just not even with like the highest amount of AP right now. He maxed Infuse and Star Call first, so his Astral Blessing is only healing for about 170, which is still nothing to be scoffed at, of course. But man, it's showing right now. This is gonna be a 3-on-3 situation here. If Urgot will actually get into this fight, but no, it looks like Lzuruha is gonna be deterred and they're gonna walk away from it. Nautilus trying to go balls deep, but it looks like it's something he doesn't want right now, and he may get caught here. Another slow from Nunu does come out. Fiddle is just around the corner with no ultimate. It's not up for 40 seconds, but the dredge line, that super mobility that it gives Nautilus, isn't allowing him to escape there. Cutie Pie forced to burn a flash, and just out of Shin's Shadow Dash range. This is going to be a dragon for Lzuruha, it looks like.
They have to start taking small advantages at this point because that's the only way they have to get into the game. Either take it really slow or go with big things like the sneaking A Baron right now. And they're definitely getting caught out here by everybody of Dignitas.
Lzuruha looks like they're going to pay for it. The Crowstorm is not quite up yet from Fiddle, so he's not able to flash and try to catch anyone, essentially with that channeled ability. So it looks like Dignitas is pinging the blue buff of Lzuruha, so they know it's up. They do have a ward over there, so they're potentially going to go ahead and steal that, and then maybe line up for a nice Baron dance? Or do you think it's not quite time for it?
It's not quite time. It's very risky to do Baron without having a decent amount of not only pink wards or just an oracles, and neither team has picked up either, or because Tarek is the only one with one pink ward, and having just one ward to place on the Baron area is very risky. They're actually gonna do it.
Tarek actually has
blue
8
buff.
wards right now. He's got 4 pink and 4 regular wards.
Oh,
He's got 8 wards on his person alone. That's enough wards for the entire team, essentially. And it looks like Dignitas agrees with that. No one else is really warding up. Tarek doing all the work right there. Voidboy kind of caught out of position using his Drain Tank, but the Counter-Strike will stop it dead in its tracks. Kog'Maw is ignited there. They're trying to chase onto Skara. The Void Ooze comes out to try to slow him down, but it looks like Lzuruha wants to posture up for a Baron here. Urgot nowhere near this fight. That's not good for Dignitas. It's just a matter of when will Dignitas try to stop this. Baron being DPS down rather slowly. It's not the fastest thing ever. Cassiopeia is about halfway on mana, so she doesn't want to blow her load onto Baron right now. The Dazzle will come out. The Depth Charge hits Kog'Maw. Shadow Dance doing a nice job of taunting Nautilus and Tarek. Tarek goes down very, very quickly. Skara decides to blow his ultimate to try to save his friend Nautilus, but he may pay for it as well. He does decide to blow his ghost. He's kind of moving around here very, very quickly on his little clickety-clappity hooves. And now Fiddlesticks back in base as well. So that was great by Dignitas because Lzuruha did not get Baron, and that's all they needed to do. The Urgot was very far away at the beginning of the fight, and all they wanted to do was delay and stop. They paid for it with Tarek and Nautilus, but Lzuruha not having Baron is worth the price.
I thought it was an excellent job what Lzuruha did. Instead of, they all agreed that they needed to back from Baron immediately, and when fighting Baron, even if you leave the Baron pit area but you stay in front of it, it's going to keep aggroing whoever is closest to Baron. So what they did was they separated themselves enough from it so that Tarek, who was the first one to come in, was taking Baron aggro.
Oh, no way Cutie Pie gets out of there. Cutie Pie does go down, attempting to steal the enemy red buff. That will be transferred to Cassiopeia, who dealt the killing blow with her poison. He almost lived there. He was alive for a while, but the living artillery and poison from Cass was just a little too much for him to handle. And I think this is where Lzuruha wants to attempt Baron again. They are pinging it, so let's see what happens.
They should not be going for this because of Fiddlesticks and Soraka. The amount of magic damage that Team Dignitas can dish out right now is enough to 2v5 the entire enemy team.
Well, let's see. Fiddle is meandering his way over to the Baron pit. Looks like he wants to potentially ultimate over that wall. Let's see if he starts the channel in a sec. Here it comes. The surprise party is primed and ready to go. He throws out his silence on the enemy team, flashes right into the middle of them, dealing tons of damage. Nunu does go down. Cassiopeia should be the next to fall, but no, she's able to get out of the way. Dredgeline does land on the Kog'Maw, locks him down with the Nautilus passive, and it looks like Kog'Maw will fall to some Star Calls and a couple auto attacks. Kog'Maw trying to aggro the Baron to maybe take one of them down with him. Meanwhile, up top, Tarek being caught alone against 3 enemy champions. I'm not quite sure why he followed that. Scar is going to come and try to play the janitor in this situation. He silences and star calls the Shin and is able to take him down. Jax and Cassio not in a good position right now. Jax should fall in just a second. Scar doesn't have a lot of mana, but I don't think he cares. The red buff, he just lets the red buff do it. A nice fleeting red buff banana will take down Jax at the very end. So Dignitas, neither team picking up Baron there, but Dignitas getting the better of that team fight. And I did say tons of damage. Shout out to Freak.
Jax could have lived there if he activated his
His
counter
dodge, yeah.
strike. He could have dodged Soraka's auto attack and then potentially leap strike onto further targets and just escaped quite easily. Because he also had Wriggle's Lantern Ward, so I feel like he may have given up on trying to escape and not evaluate his entire options for an actual staying alive option.
I just love how Skara threw out that last banana and just knew. He was like, he's dead. You know, he knew the red buff was going to tick, that true damage was going to work its magic, and Jax had nowhere to go. They pulled off, and they were just like, just confident. I love that. Just so cocky right there.
It's like when the good guy walks away from an explosion.
Exactly,
In the movie.
exactly. That was. I just picture Scar right now walking away from a giant explosion caused by his fantastic red banana. So good, so good. So both teams, they're warding right now. Dignitas does have the majority of wards on to Baron right now. There is a pink ward from Lzuruha that spot that Baron pit ward for Dignitas. So I wonder if Lzuruha is going to go over here and try to clean these wards up a little bit. As far as builds are concerned, you see Urgot building his fairly standard Frozen Heart. It is going to mitigate some of that damage from Kog'Maw. I like to think of Urgot not necessarily as an AD carry, but as an anti-AD carry. He likes to build the tankiness of Frozen Heart and use the passive Zon Touch Bolt Augmenter to reduce the damage of other AD carries by 15%. So strong right now.
One of the biggest things about Urgot is his ability to dish out almost the same damage as an AD carry, as well as provide that insane utility.
The Petrifying Gaze is going to land on to dominate, but he doesn't carry his Nautilus. He's scaling very well right now. Cassiopeia kind of failing Flash over that wall. They're sticking to Cutie Pie here. The Star Call doing so much damage to the enemy team. Skara hasn't even been touched in this team fight right now. Forced to blow his ultimate, of course, but man, it's healing for so much. Jax will go down. Skara picking up a godlike killing spree right there. They're going to steal blue here, and then Baron is finally going to be theirs after a nice tango that we've seen the past few fights.
That battle was won by Dignitas even without a Fiddlesticks ultimate, because Shen actually managed to Shadow Dash Fiddlesticks ultimate and cancel it. No, it got cancelled by a Shadow Dash.
I feel like I want to go back and watch that fight. Can't I do that now? I can do that now.
I think you can.
Oh, look at this replay system doing so much work. Okay, here we go. This is the fight again right here. It starts out with a counter-strike from Jax, leaping onto Scar, trying to lock him down. The Shin ultimate onto Jax will follow up, and there's the Shadow Dash you were talking about, canceling Fiddlestick's ultimate, but it looks like it doesn't matter right now because Cassiopeia falls very low from Star Call and ends up dying. And then a nice Astral Blessing onto Urgot keeps him alive in the midst of all that Kog'Maw damage. Shin falls, and then it's quick work for Jax, and he goes down as well. Look at that. I love this nice spectator mode use right there.
It is. The only thing that's missing is being able to chat between spectators in-game.
Yeah, that needs to happen. Just chatting to spectators needs to happen, just because I know yesterday St. Vicious was casting for us, and he was actually in charge of the stream. Up top, Fiddle getting caught by a nice Shadow Dash. He's going to try to drain tank 3 people, and it's working semi-effectively if they don't have any CC, but it's only a matter of time before he falls to that 3-on-1 situation. But Saint was lagging so badly, and I couldn't get in touch with him to tell him to fix settings, because you can't talk to streamers or talk to spectators. It's kind of silly in that respect. But please go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, right now Nautilus getting caught just like Fiddlesticks.
Yeah. Top lane is just a dead man zone for Dignitas this current point in time. He misses the dredge line onto that dead tower, so he will die here. A nice shutdown. Few hundred gold bonus goes to Lzuruha, goes to Jax specifically. And it looks like they're going to continue to just pressure this top lane up there. Their Kog'Maw is very far away in the mid lane, taking his own race right now. So if Dignitas wanted to engage, this would definitely be a 4-on-4 that they could easily win with the Baron buff.
Yeah, Dignitas could at this point could even win the 4v5 engage because of how hard it is to kill the Soraka, and her damage is just so constant. It's almost like having a Karth on your team, except her magic's reduction is just immense. And like what I was gonna say before about oh Kog'Maw getting caught out here. It's gonna drop.
The Shin ultimate, will it come out in time? No, it does not. It does. He's there now, and that's not good for him. He could be caught here by a nice Terrify. He's running back to his teammate Jax. No, he decides to juke and try to go bottom. Skara trying to predict his movements. Let's see if no, does he? No, he just goes mid. No, he comes down. But they're not going to be able to catch Shin. He is going to get out of there scot-free.
The damage that Lzuruha has right now is because Castillo built Rylai's, which is mostly a utility item. Most of their damage is coming from auto attacks, and another battle breaking out in middle.
The Drain Tank doing so much work. Urgot will decide to switch the Cassiopeia into the midst of his team. The Nautilus passive will lock her down, and she will go down before she even knows what she's doing. Jax is taken down by Urgot as well. The last Acid Hunter will bring down Nunu. Nunu bot is being destroyed there. Kog'Maw coming in a little bit late to the party, but Fiddle says, oh, you can be here too. I'm going to Drain Tank you and 2 towers. Will it work? The Soraka heal comes out. Oh, he's not able to take down the Kog'Maw with his last dying breaths. Shin shadow dancing under 3 targets. The Acathian Surprise going to do work here, but Scar is going to be okay with all of his heals. Just so good right there, showing the strength of AP Soraka.
Right now, the damage that Lzuruha has is strictly coming from auto attacks because Cassiopeia decided to build the Rylai's, which it's mostly a utility ability power item because of the slow. It's not the highest damage or just, it's mostly a safe item because it offers health and a passive slow. So that's not going to give her much damage, and then the rest of the damage is just coming from Shen, Jax, and Kog'Maw's auto attacks, which is easily countered by the Frozen Hearts and Dignitas.
Dignitas turning back to engage on this fight. Let's see how it works out for them. A lot of Acid Hunters being put onto Cassiopeia. She gets switched again, but the Petrifying Gaze does land onto Skara and Locust. It doesn't matter. She dies. She goes down. Jax will go down here as well, but not without a slight fight. Shin trying to run away from this, and he will effectively get away. No Dazzle will come out to take him down. Kog'Maw caught on the other side of this wall. I don't know if he quite wants to be here, but Skara coming up to heal her buddy Locust and silence the Shin just for good measure. And now it looks like Nautilus kind of wants to hit a dredge line here on someone, but Shadow Dash over the wall will save his life. The Acid Hunter's coming out, slightly missing the Nunu. Here comes the Shin ultimate onto Nunu. Will protect him and save him. Cutie Pie going down very, very low to the Living Artilleries in the Bio-Hurricane Barrage. The last one will take down Urgot, taking the bounty over for himself. Shin shadow dashing onto the Nautilus. The dredge line will pull him away out of harm's reach. Dazzle comes out from Tarek onto the Shen. This is just a long, long fight right here. It's kind of ridiculous. Shen going to get DPS down by the Drain and also the Star Call. Absolute Zero not hitting anything, and just after that, Fiddlesticks inviting himself to the party, throwing his Crow Storm over the wall. Death Charge will land onto Jax right after he flashes. He's a little bit too far out of the way for Dignitas to quite follow up on that ultimate. In the meantime, Fiddle throwing out his silence to bounce around between the members of Lzuruha and that big creep wave right there. So Dignitas, I mean, they're just... what do you see them doing from this point on? That they just need to be decisive and just...
It seems like they're just having fun right now. They're just having fun right now. They could just wait for Baron and keep forcing battles because the damage that Lzuruha has, as I stated before, it's only auto attacks from Jax, Kog'Maw, and Shen. And Dignitas actually has 2 Frozen Hearts on their team, a Tarek passive armor, and since most of the damage is magical, it's also with the armor and the magic reduction that Fiddlesticks and Soraka bring, so they have more damage and have a counter to Lzuruha's damage just from items. So I don't see any way that Lzuruha can start winning this game back, especially from an 18k gold deficit.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a lot of work. They're down 15 kills. As you said, they're down almost 20k gold. They're down 4 towers. Dignitas has secured 1 Baron so far in this game. Baron should be up in the next few minutes, I believe, like the next minute or two. So I'm sure you'll see them kind of start to get around that position. Dignitas has no wards on Baron, but I'm sure you'll see Locust solve that problem very, very soon. He is carrying, what, 7 wards on his person right now. 2 pink wards and 5 vision wards, just for good measure. Dignitas taking down this dragon, pulling out a little bit too early, but Tarek goes back in and finishes with an auto attack.
Yeah, Locust known for buying many wards.
Fiddlesticks flashing into this this engage right here. Will we see an Urgot swap onto Cassiopeia? She's a little bit out of range. The Acid Hunter's doing a lot of damage to her, bringing her so low. The last one does secure the kill and take her down. That was such a good play by Urgot. The switch onto Kog'Maw, I'm assuming we'll see in just a second here. The Shen ultimate does protect the Kog'Maw from a little bit of damage, but it is for naught because Kog'Maw will be taken down anyway. There's a switch onto Nunu Bot. He will get reprogrammed here to being dead, and Nautilus trying to stick to the Shen, but the Shadow Dash putting him just out of range of another Dredge line pull. They're gonna fountain dive? What? Really? Are we seeing them fountain? Are they fountain diving? Okay.
They fought that even without Soraka. And she's
cool.
legendary and has been carrying the team.
Wow.
So they're kind of strong at this point.
That was a fountain dive. That was weird. Not quite sure how I feel about it. Will they be able to take Shin down quickly? No, he is tanky because he's Shin, as expected. Looks like they're just going to focus the Nexus here, kind of disregard the Cassiopeia and Shin. Urgot doing work on it, and that's going to be game. Dignitas taking game 1 versus Lzuruha in this reign of gaming. International. Invitational.
Tournaments.
Tournament. Tournament.
That's the word you're looking for, right?
I believe so, yeah.